Good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School football. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined by Phil Hill for tonight's East Brunswick-West Windsor game. And Phil, this could be a good one.
It could be a good one. I tell you, the Bears are on a roll. Unfortunately, they had a week off last. Well, fortunately, they had a chance to heal some injuries and whatnot. But they played perhaps one of the finest games ever for an East Brunswick team against Edison a couple of weeks ago. They were just super. Defensively, I don't think I've seen quite a defensive effort in the time I've been watching East Brunswick Bears. So they look like they're going to be ready. They've had a week to get their offense a lot sharper. And I'll tell you, John, this Bear team could be the top team, not only in the Red Division, but also in the county before things are done.
Well, certainly that win against Edison was a big win for them in the GMC Red. And I think helped to really set forever away this year the loss to Cherokee and have them focus in on what they have to do.
I think you're right. I think everybody's entitled to one bad game. They had their bad game early in the year, and even though Cherokee was tough, I just don't think the Bears were themselves. They're a vastly improved team. Defensively, I haven't seen anybody that can quite match up to them up the middle there. They're really tough.
Yeah, that's their strength.
Offensively, they're coming around. Special teams have looked really super, and the young quarterback is getting better with each week, Neary. And they're just going to be a tough team to contend with.
Okay, Phil, let's talk about the Pirates of West Windsor. They're new to us. This is the first time we're going to see them. What do they run, and what can we expect?
Okay, they run a multiple offense, John. They'll do a little bit of straight T, the I, triple sets. There's some stuff very similar to the Bears. West Windsor, actually they're called West Windsor Plainsboro High, so that gives you some idea where they're located. They're located in Mercer County, and they play in the Colonial Valley Conference, and it's a pretty tough conference. They have teams in it such as Trenton, Steinert, Hightstown, Notre Dame, and this West Windsor team knows how to play ball. Last year they went 8-1. 8-1, lost the first game to Trenton, and because of lack of power points did not qualify for the state playoffs. In 1987, they went 9-2, ended up playing in the championship game against Franklin, of all teams, and of course they lost, but they put up a pretty good fight. So it tells you they do know how to play football.
And they got a kid that we're going to keep our eye on by the name of Krause. And they say he can play.
Well, he just does everything. He has 8 touchdowns for them, 7 by rushing, 1 by punt return. And he's just very valuable. They'll put him at the tailback spot, the wide receiver spot, quarterback spot, anywhere they think they might be able to get him open.
Well, we'll see. It's a great evening for football at J. Doyle Field. A little brisk tonight. East Brunswick comes in 3-1. So does West Windsor. And we'll be back with the start of the action in just a moment. Well, we're about ready to get underway, Phil. East Brunswick, West Windsor, our first look at West Windsor. As we said in the pregame, they come in 3-1, and they've got some ammunition.
They have some ammunition. You'll see they're not quite as large as East Brunswick, so they're going to have to use their quickness. And according to Coach Tom Stewart, they're going to try to confuse East Brunswick if they can.
And we want to point out that our other partner in the booth, Jim Allender, is not with us. His dad had some surgery, and Jim is out in, I believe, Ohio, he said, to be with his dad. So we wish his dad well, and we welcome you to tonight's telecast, East Brunswick, West Windsor. Beautiful night for football.
A beautiful night for homecoming.
Yeah, it is a great night for homecoming. Fall is back, and nothing more exciting in high school anyway, Phil, than homecoming.
Well, you know I'm partial. You take a night like this and old friends getting together, you can't beat it.
All right, you see the East Brunswick captains getting ready to go out and meet their counterparts from West Windsor. And they'll come to the center of the field. And we'll try to identify them for you. 44 is Scott Kammerer. 85 is Chi Nguyen. Number 50 is Matt Pazinko, and number 11 is Jimmy White.
And for West Windsor, you have number 9, Adrian Krause, number 11, Phil Evans, number 35, Mike Gluck, and number 65, Jeff McFarland.
Phil, I remember years ago, the captain, one person went out. Now
That's
it's
right.
a party out there.
You got to share this thing now. And you got so many good players, and everybody seems to contribute in different ways. You take Kammerer and Pazinko. Kammerer's sort of more rah-rah, and Pazinko's sort of the spiritual leader of a different kind. So takes all kind.
East Brunswick is in the home green jerseys. West Windsor in the white. White and yellow, or kind of a gold tint to them. And let's see. Waiting for the officials to designate who will receive the kickoff.
And I tell you, as you look at them.
And West Windsor won the toss and declined to receive.
Surprising, John. They want to defend the West Gold.
I don't know why, not really any win to speak of.
Wow, maybe they know something we don't, John. We'll find out. We'll find out. I'll tell you, Tom Stewart, the coach, spoke to him earlier this week, and he has seen East Brunswick 3 times, so maybe he knows something.
Well, East Brunswick will receive, and they'll put the ball in action first. You see Marcus Borden down there getting his team ready, smiling. And good reason to smile after that win over Edison.
One of the biggest wins in the history of East Brunswick football, and I think it's going to carry over for the rest of the season.
And we mentioned East Brunswick was off last week. Phil, good or bad?
Who knows? I think it has to be good, and you got a chance to heal some injuries. Example, Mike Pilato had a sprained ankle. He will not play offensively today, but he will play some defensively. But then again, you remember they had 3 days rest for Woodbridge, and they came out and annihilated Woodbridge. So who knows what will happen with the full week off.
And West Windsor trots out on the field. They will kick it off. Doing the kicking will be Chris DeLoro, I believe, number 2. And he's waiting for a football. And here we go.
And we have Davis and Barnell Johnson back deep for the Bears. Both burners.
Well, we mentioned West Windsor comes out of Mercer County. Some pretty good teams down there as well.
Pretty good teams. We tend to think of them as basketball people when you hear Trenton, Notre Dame, Hightstown, but these people play football as well.
Obviously an out-of-conference game for East Brunswick. So it will not have any bearing in the division in terms of the one-loss record.
Wow, this is a strange formation for kickoff for West Windsor.
I've never seen anything
unless
like
they're
it.
going to break out of it, and apparently they are. Okay.
It's like the old flying wedge, except in reverse. All right, DeLoro will get this game underway, and he does. Good kick. That'll be Davis, has a little trouble fielding it. Gives the reverse to Johnson. Johnson dances around across the 15, and he'll go out short of the 20, and that's where East Brunswick will start on offense.
Okay, East Brunswick being true to form with the reverse there. You saw Davis bobble the ball, and then nevertheless still felt it was necessary to get the ball off to Johnson. I've spoke on it before. A lot of times I think you got to pick up that ball and run.
All right, the ball will be spotted on the East Brunswick 17. 1st and 10 from there, and we're just underway. Gary brings him out. Carry by Johnson. It gets about to the 20, so he'll pick up about 3 yards.
And David, number 77. I don't think we have a 77.
Not on our sheet, no. 2nd and 6 for East Brunswick. Ball spotted right on their own 20. Well, they spread the formation now. Davis wide right. Johnson will go in motion. Neary keeps, turns the corner, goes upfield, and be a little short of the first down, but a good run anyway.
A good run by Neary, John, and Neary has been running a lot more as of late. Picks up that 4 yards per clip, and he's a tough kid, I understand, as well.
And they're gonna call for a measurement. And East Brunswick has it, first down. First one of the game.
And Tom Stewart said earlier that he doesn't feel that he can match up with the Bears, but he's going to try to give them different looks defensively and maybe, hopefully, confuse the Bears. We'll see if that pans out.
First and 10 from the East Brunswick 27. Full house backfield.
Ooh.
Handoff inside. I believe that was Johnson on the carry, and he got nailed.
I'll tell you, number 77 again, we got to give him a name. Let's give him Paul Eldridge. Who's number 78 in our program, but the young man has gotten off the ball very well.
Johnson makes it back to the line of scrimmage. Second and 10. Neary, a little counter move inside. Hands off to Gearman. Gearman picks up about 5.
And Gearman once again in there for Pilato. Pilato still nursing a very tender ankle. Will play some defensively, but will not be in offensively today.
Let's call it 3rd and 5. And Phil, that little counter has worked well for East Brunswick.
It's worked, and you just know they're going to bust one.
Gearman to the wing. Johnson now coming in motion. Inside handoff. Big hole.
Wow.
I believe that's Yen. It is G. Yen.
I'll tell you, a tough runner. He comes into the game as the leading rusher for the Bears. He comes in with a 255 yards thus far this season, but they've been all hard yards, and you saw it there, just carrying people, John.
First down into West Windsor territory as Yen carried the whole team on his back. Ball at the Pirates 48. Gearman inside.
That's Varick, I believe, John, number 28. They're coming out of the wishbone formation.
You're right, Phil. No, it's Gearman, 28.
I'm sorry.
Gearman picks up a couple. Let's call it 2nd and 8 from the West Windsor 47. 8:50 left here in the first period. No score. Opening drive for the Bears, and they look good so far.
And they're breaking out of that huddle quickly, John.
Neary looks, drops, short drop, looks down the field deep. He's got a man. That's Johnson across the 20 to about the 18. First down, East Brunswick. Nice catch by Barnell Johnson. Good pass by Neary.
That's a fine pass. Was that Johnson on that, John?
Yeah, number 19.
Super.
Yen blown back. East Brunswick spreading it out. Johnson in motion again. Inside again to Yen. Phil, this guy carries anyone who tries to grab him.
I'll tell you, they don't stop him on the first stop there. He had number 53, Michael Britton, in on the tackle there, but he dragged Britton a little bit. Very powerful legs for the fullback.
Picks up 5. Let's call it 2nd and 5 from ball just short of the West Windsor 15-yard line, rather. Gearman now in motion. Little counter with Johnson. Nowhere to go this time.
Ooh.
And he'll be dropped for a loss.
I'll tell you, Mike Britton again and on the tackle there. Making a fine tackle. I'll tell you it's early on, but I can tell you that week off is one thing that has done for East Brunswick. They call them plays and are out of that huddle rather quick, and it's a different pace than what we've seen before.
Johnson loses a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 from the 16. East Brunswick's knocking. Big play here. There's Yen. Still on his feet, but he'll be short of the first down. And Cairns will come out for a field goal attempt. Ian Kearns, number 3.
And Kearns, Marcus Borden has to have a lot of confidence in him. Kearns came up with a big field goal against Edison, 35-yarder 2 weeks ago.
Ball spotted at the West Windsor 20. This will be a 30-yarder. It's to the right and no good.
Short and off to the right, surprising.
So the East Brunswick defense will make their first appearance of the evening with 6:27 to go here in the first period.
Well, I'll tell you, offensively, the Bears have to feel pretty good, John. They did drive down the field. They weren't able to pick up that all-important last first down there, but they do know they can move the ball on this West Windsor team.
I wouldn't be surprised, Bill, if we see a little more passing next possession for East Brunswick.
I think you're right.
Well, we'll get a chance to look at that tough East Brunswick D. And Phil, as you mentioned, they shut Edison down 2 weeks ago. Here we go, West Windsor. They have Evans at quarterback, number 11. They come out in the I formation. And this is Kraus right away, and he's got nowhere to go. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And of course, number 44 on the bottom of that pile, Scott Kammerer, had a super game against Edison. 16 tackles, I understand.
Well, they give Kraus about a half a yard. Let's call it a 2nd and a long 9. Ball just across the West Windsor 20, their own 20. We're inside of 6 minutes here in the first quarter. No score. Split backfield. Inside handoff to Gluck. And Gluck doesn't have much success either.
I'll tell you, the initial tackler again is Scott Kammerer. And Kammerer has really come on. He's a big-time player. We talk about him a lot, but he does an awful lot, John. He's one of the most physical linebackers that I've seen in this area in a long time.
Well, we'll see if Evans will put it in the air. 3rd and 9 from their own 21. Single back formation. That's Kraus in motion. Evans drops the ball. Did he fall on it?
He did recover it.
He recovered his own fumble, but that'll bring up 4th down. It looked like they were trying to isolate Kraus man for man.
And Evans just pulled away from the center much too quick. He pulled away, thought he had the ball, and it was rolling there. Very dangerous.
Davis and Johnson will go back to field the punt. Nathan Moore will do the punting. High snap, pulls it down, gets an end-over-end kick. East Brunswick will let it go. And this ball should be dead just about midfield. And East Brunswick has excellent field position. Phil, I can't help but notice the crowd on hand tonight. Great to see.
It is a nice crowd on the East Brunswick side here, and fans are still pouring in, John.
If you're just joining us, we're in the first period. No score, East Brunswick, West Windsor, 4:33 left. East Brunswick moved down to the Pirates' 20-yard line where a field goal attempt was wide and short to the right. But East Brunswick did move the ball well. Two receivers to the left, wishbone backfield for the Bears. Neary to Johnson. Johnson hit at the line.
I'll tell you, this West Windsor team is rallying at the ball. You had 4 tacklers there to meet Johnson, so they do know a little bit about playing football. Good, aggressive, clean hits. You gotta like it.
No gain, 2nd and 10 for East Brunswick. Well, West Windsor came in 3-1, and they're showing why. Davis and Papadopoulos out wide left. Neary steps away, takes a look. Short drop, looks to his left, overthrown and almost intercepted. He was looking for Davis inside.
I'll tell you, the ball just got away from Neary. Clearly not on target there, and the Bears did well not to come away with being intercepted, John.
So it'll bring up 3rd and 10. Neary's not getting any pressure, at least from what we see, Phil. He's taking short drops, however.
He's taking short drops and putting that ball out there. His arm was just a little too lively there. It actually got away from him.
All right, Davis comes to the left. Papadopoulos will go to the right. Again is the sole back. Neary will roll to his left. He plants, looking downfield deep for Davis.
Oh.
Davis made the catch. He steps in front of the defender, and a flag is thrown on top of it. Phil, great move by Davis.
Hey, great body control by R.J. Davis, and R.J. Davis is just a quality player. I talked about him before. He doesn't complain when the ball doesn't come his way, but he catches everything that comes his way, John. Just a tremendously nice move.
Neary put it up. It hung up there a little bit. Personal foul against Windsor, and that will happen from where the ball was caught. So this is a major penalty on top of a big play.
I'll tell you, a big play and a very big penalty.
The ball will be spotted at the West Windsor 11, and East Brunswick once again knocking, looking for the first score of the evening. Wishbone backfield. Cameron as a tight end. Davis wide right. Inside handoff, Johnson.
Wow.
They seem to have his number tonight,
I'll tell
Phil.
you, he was slammed. I tell you, number 42 on the tackle there, Michael Palski, a solid tackle. Well, as I said, Tom Stewart has viewed this Bear team 3 times, so he knows who the key performers are, and you're right. They're apparently keen on Johnson.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10 from the Pirates 11. Same formation, Davis wide right. Neary looks over the middle. He's got Kammerer. He's inside the 5. East Brunswick can make a first down without scoring.
I'll tell you, Scott Kammerer from his tight end position, his first catch of the year. Matter of fact, the first time we've seen him even go his way.
The ball spotted right at the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 3 for the first, and about 5 for the goal.
And Kammerer's still in there, so you can expect him to run right off his tail, John.
And East Brunswick calls a timeout, the first of the night. Neary came to the line and apparently didn't like what he saw and decided not to try to run a play in that situation. So the clock is stopped with 2:10 here in the first period, and a good game thus far.
A good game if you're a Bear fan. No, a good game all the way around. To tell you, there's some hard hitting there, but the Bears certainly look different, a lot more improved offensively, and it shows, John.
Phil, what has impressed me so far, and including this timeout, is the poise being shown by the entire team, and in particular quarterback Neary.
Well, he had that extra week to practice to get things under his belt. I think he's beginning to feel a lot more comfortable with each advancing week anyway, John. So he knows he has a solid team around him. He knows defense is going to keep him in the game regardless of what happens, and he can afford to have his confidence rise.
All right, let's set it again. It's 3rd and about 4. Let's call it 3rd and 5 for a touchdown, 4 for the first down, as Neary has him in the wishbone. He keeps it. He's got a man to the outside, tries to step up, and he'll pick up a yard, maybe 2. Now a big play, Phil. It'll be 4th down. Do you go for the field goal, or you go for that first down, or if you fall a couple extra yards, touchdown?
I think you got to go for it. You've been moving on this team. We've already missed the field goal attempt. You can move on this team. If you don't go for it at this point in time, you're telling your team you don't have confidence in them. And the way they've been moving, there's no reason not to go for it.
Well, no doubt on the part of Marcus Borden. He sends him back out there in that wishbone. He wants him to go. Neary pitches back to Johnson.
Ooh.
Ball's in the air. Johnson does a great job just to prevent a fumble.
Mercy. I tell you, Neary was grabbed soon as he stepped back from his quarterback position, and they were fortunate to get come out of it with just a loss of yardage there, because that ball was tossing around, and
That's one thing you don't want.
Right, a West Windsor player could have picked that ball actually out of the air and just took off.
So East Brunswick dodges the bullet with 1:15 left here in the first period. And they go to the I formation. That is West Windsor. Kraus is in that deep position in the I. This is Gluck, the up front man. Spins away from one tackler, but that's it.
And you have about 6 East Brunswick tacklers around there, so they are moving to the ball. You got to like it.
West Windsor started from their own 10, and that's where they'll stay. In fact, Kraus may have lost the yard. I mean, rather Gluck. Let's call it 2nd and 11 from the 9-yard line.
And number 17, Richard Curtis, has come out. He was filling in for Pilato, and he's come to the sideline himself now.
Pilato's in. Evans is the quarterback. Gluck and Kraus running backs as Gluck goes in motion. Quick pitch to Kraus around the left side. He's got some running room. Johnson knocks him out of bounds, and good thing because he had a lot of room ahead of him.
And Adrian Kraus has missed everything for this West Windsor team. He does it all. As I said at the top of the game, he has 8 touchdowns. They use him at quarterback spot. They use him at tailback. They use him at wide receiver. And he's the man that can make things happen for this West Windsor team. And the Pirates have a penalty on themselves, however.
And they're walking back, holding against West Windsor, and that'll nullify the big gain. And it'll continue to keep them deep in their own territory. So the 10 yards or so picked up by Kraus was negated by the penalty. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 10. Once West Windsor has had poor field position thus far. 25 seconds left here in the first period. Evans looking, fights off pressure from the end zone. Almost intercepted. Johnson has it. And a flag has been thrown. Maybe a face mask.
Parnell Johnson coming up with his 2nd interception of the year, and he got an assist from another East Brunswick player, John. I couldn't pick up who it actually hit off.
I think it went off of Varick, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Into the arms of Johnson.
It's a clip against the Bears. However, they will maintain possession of the ball, which is, of course, the important thing right now.
All right, East Brunswick will have their 3rd possession of this first quarter, Phil, and yet they have no points to show for it.
Well,
they've been there twice.
They've been there twice. They've been knocking on the door, and maybe they'll get an answer this time.
Papadopoulos wide left. Davis to the right. And that'll end the first quarter as whistles blow. And the teams will switch sides here. No score after 1. East Brunswick, West Windsor.
I'll tell you, we got a fine game, though, John. I'll be quite frank with you. When I heard homecoming in West Windsor, I thought, why not J.P. Stevens or Madison or one of the other teams that fans know about, you know. But this West Windsor team is a tough, fine team, and it's a competitive game. And when you come for homecoming, sometimes people like to see blowouts and whatnot, but people like to see good, hard football, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Well, you can see that East Brunswick, Marcus Borden and his staff did not overlook West Windsor. That defense is playing tough. And right now, the West Windsor defense has really kept them in this game.
They've been, but they don't break.
Yep. But we're getting ready for a second period, second quarter action here from J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick. No score. And we'll be looking at their 3rd possession of the game. And just a play away, Phil, both times.
They're a play away, and we may see it right here. This is Davis territory. He likes this little corner right down this end here, so don't be surprised if we see R.J. Davis go for it.
All right, Davis is to the right, Papadopoulos to the left. Neary looks, short drop, being pressured. He's going to be taken down for a loss. And just had no one to throw to, Phil.
He was looking deep, but he couldn't get to him. Blocking broke down before he could get the ball off. But Davis was right down there in that right corner.
Big loss for East Brunswick. The ball will be spotted at the West Windsor 37. And we'll call it 2nd and 15.
And you got to believe the Bears are going to stick with the passing game right here now, John.
They stay in that wishbone formation. Inside to Yen. And he'll pick up 2, but they need more than that.
And just like I said, you got to believe they're going to stay in their passing game. A surprise call.
After 8 years of doing this, you should know better by now. We'll call it 3rd and 15 as Yin got back to the line of scrimmage. Neary looking, sets up, throwing to the right. He's got Davis all by himself, and he drops it. Phil, one of those cases where you're waiting, the anticipation.
Well, the ball certainly was underthrown. Davis was out there all by himself. The ball slightly underthrown. I think Davis must have, it was so easy, took his eye off it. It was a ball that could have been caught, but he was really alone for a while.
And he did it against Kraus.
And we, as I said, we expected them to be in that right corner. They did it, but just didn't come up with the play here.
Well, I'm sure they'll come back to that play. Anyway, it'll bring up a 4th down, and East Brunswick will punt. Good kick to the corner.
Ooh.
Oh, and it'll hold up, will it? Yes. It'll be down at about the half-foot line. I believe that was Varela.
Varela's been doing a super job, John. If you could have saw him in the Edison game where he was just booing them, this time he used a little skill here and put the Pirates in a hole, and it's a tough spot to be against this Bear defense.
Bob Varela, what a tremendous punt. Little sandwich into the corner, and it stayed.
East Brunswick has become famous for the kicking game, and once again, a big play by one of the kickers.
This ball is just barely past the goal line. In West Windsor, full house or T backfield. Evans drops the ball. And I think we got a safety here, and we do. Oh, touchdown. I think there's a fumble. That's what they're calling, Phil. Barrett comes out of the pile, I believe. No. Gearman comes up with it.
Number 28, Gearman.
Tom Gearman. I saw Evans drop the ball, and Gearman must have fell on it in the end zone.
Well, John, I just said it's a terrible place to be against this Bear defense, and they just blew in there. The Pirates had to be somewhat nervous with their back that close to the wall, and the Bears took advantage of it and came away with a big touchdown.
Phil, it looks as though Evans is having trouble with the snap from center, though. Anyway, Kieran's on for the extra point. And a good kick, and East Brunswick's on the board, 7-0. Second quarter.
7-0 and defense scoring.
A lot of confusion down there. It was hard for us to see.
But I believe you're right. I believe it was Tom Gearman that actually came up with the recovery.
So East Brunswick does it on defense, rather. And they go up 7-0. And they'll get ready to kick it off. And here we go. That'll be Kraus. That's the guy they want to handle it. Ooh, taken down hard as he crossed the 30-yard line. But not very good field position still, Phil. West Windsor having a tough time of it.
Well, but when I asked Tom Stewart what does he have to do to beat this Bear team, he says he has to be able to avoid their blitz. And the only way he can do that is come up with short passes, John. So I expect to see a lot of more short passing from Phil Evans to his receivers.
Well, the key right now is to see if Evans can take the snap without any problem. Luck goes in motion. Evans hands off to Kraus. Kraus can't turn the corner, however. Great tackle. I believe that was Pilato.
And it's a fumble.
All right. I didn't see it come out. I didn't see it, Phil, quite honestly.
It must have rolled out of there. The Bears jumped on it, and that ball is going the other way.
So another turnover for East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, it happened right in front of the West Windsor bench. No argument by Tom Stewart there. So
their second takeaway, if you will. The ball on the West Windsor 31, 1st and 10. Neary to Nien. And he barrels his way for a pickup of close to 3.
Good hard running by Chase.
We'll call it 2nd and about 7. Ball now spotted on the West Windsor 28-yard line.
Oh, Kraus is out here one-on-one with Davis. Let's see what happens.
Yin is the sole setback. Johnson goes in motion. Neary looks, a little quick screen to Johnson, but he has no help in front of him.
I'll tell you, number 35 came up nicely.
Gluck.
Mike Gluck. Big tackle there.
No one out there for Johnson. If he was going to do anything, he was going to do it on his own. So it'll bring up 3rd and 10 as they lost yardage on that play. Ball at the West Windsor 32. Neary looks downfield. He's looking for the corner again. Davis. Davis is there. Touchdown, East Brunswick. What a pass. Right on the money, Phil.
What a...
R.J. Davis.
And John, we've been pointing out, he's out there one-on-one with Kraus, and Kraus hasn't been near him much at all today. And Davis just runs under that ball and pulls it in nicely.
Neary put it right on the money. Davis outran Kraus, and that's all she wrote. Kieran's with the extra point. Good. And it's hammer time.
Hammer time, I tell you.
14-0 is our score.
Right, R.J. Davis's 3rd touchdown of the year, 3rd touchdown reception of the year. And he's just, he wastes no motion, just very soft hands, and a confident kid.
Well, you knew it was going to break open sooner or later. They would knocking,
Well,
and
it
finally.
just appears that he can do what he wants with Kraus all day.
All right, Kieran's to kick it off. Kraus is back there. It's high. It'll be taken by Kraus at his own 20. Wedge right up the middle. Kraus still on his feet. And a good run back to the 40.
Good hard running.
So this is the best field position for West Windsor tonight thus far. 8:04 remains, 2nd quarter.
Well, they haven't been too imaginative on offense. You just got to believe they have to come with something slightly different. Of course, the Bear defense is making it difficult for them no matter what they do, but they got to come up with something different, John.
All right, the Pirates come out, 1st and 10. Evans is the quarterback. Luck all by himself. They send Kraus and Chung to the left. Evans, first pass of the night, off the hands, almost intercepted.
I'll tell you.
Johnson and Cameron both going for the ball.
Great hustle, great all-around hustle by the Bear defenders. That's being hungry.
Evans threw it a little high. We have an official timeout. Jay Adocio needing some work on his equipment. And we're ready to go. 2nd and 10 from their own 40. West Windsor looking to get something going. Gluck goes in motion. Evans, quick pitch to Kraus. Can he turn a corner? He does. He's got some running room. He's got a 1st down as he crosses midfield into East Brunswick territory.
I'll tell you, Adrian Kraus, 6'1", 185-pound senior who does it all for the Pirates, and you got a taste of it right there. Once he turns that corner, he can pick up good yardage. Good, solid ball player.
I believe that's their first down, Phil. We've got 7:25 left here in the second quarter. Ball at the East Brunswick 45. They are on top, 14-0. Gluck in motion to the left. Kraus straight up the middle. He'll pick up 3.
Good. I'll tell you, he's a versatile player. Versatile ball player. Good, solid ball player.
Second and about 7. And official timeout. Again, another East Brunswick player with some equipment problems. All right, we'll see if West Windsor can keep this drive going. Split formation. Gluck goes in motion. Quick pitch to Kraus, left side this time.
Ooh.
Good block on the outside as Kraus turns the corner and is taken out at about the 34-yard line of East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, give that gain to Michael Gluck, the fullback, coming up with a big block there. Varnell Johnson closing down and just totally blew him out of the way.
Well, the Pirates showing some offense here, and it's basically been Kraus left, Kraus right. That was enough for a first down. Ball at the East Brunswick 33. High formation. Inside to Gluck, first man through. Tried to sneak his way by, but it didn't fool anyone. Tackle by Wolfskill. We'll call it 2nd and 10. Clock down to 5:50 here, second quarter. Gluck and Kraus still the running backs. That's Gluck in motion. Pitch again to Kraus. Familiar play, nice open field tackle. And that was Tom Gehrman.
A beautiful tackle, you're right. Gehrman in there stopping Kraus before he can get started. They've been going with a quick pitch to either side, pitching the ball out to Kraus and just letting him do it on his own.
Kraus picks up no yardage on that play, so it's still 3rd and 7.
And you got to be careful about the pitch to Kraus and him pulling up and passing one.
Ball resting at the East Brunswick 30. Gluck goes in motion. And it was kept by Evans. And Evans maybe picks up a half a yard, and they're going to spot it right on the line of scrimmage. So it's 4th down.
Okay.
A lot of action, Phil, no movement.
No movement. Dave Dixon in on that tackle there. Phil Evans, a big, strapping quarterback, but not too swift to feet.
Well, it's 4th and 7, and it looks as though they're going to go for it. 4:25 remaining, second quarter. And official timeout as Gluck was fixing his shoulder pads in the backfield. You see him there. A little surprised by the call, Phil? 4th down?
No, absolutely not. This is their best field position, and if they don't get something down, they're never going to get it.
All right, let's see what they can do. Evans drops back. Pressured. Kraus, great play by Johnson.
I'll tell you.
Varnell Johnson taps it away at the last second. Kraus put it on the money.
I'll tell you, just it was right on the money, and Varnell Johnson with a beautiful defensive play there. And I'll tell you, Varnell, you got to be careful, because if college scouts see that, you can forget offense. That's just a great defensive play.
I said Kraus, I meant Evans, put it right on the money. Kraus was there, and Johnson came out of nowhere to knock it away. And so East Brunswick will take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 30. They have 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. And that's Johnson, and he's hogtied.
Wow.
He'll be dropped for a loss.
Number 77, which has to be Paul Eldridge, and he's been playing a heck of a game today.
They say that Johnson got back to the line of scrimmage, so we'll call it 2nd and 10 from the 30. Area on a quarterback keeper. Oh, I thought he had some room for a moment there. Here he gets about a yard. So it'll bring up 3rd and about 9. Ball at the East Brunswick 29, and they've got 3:10 left. Yen is the sole back. Johnson go in motion. Here he keeps. Steps up and is hit immediately, and a flag is thrown, and we may have a hold against East Brunswick, Phil.
That's usually when it's thrown there. That's where it's usually called, John. I'll tell you, I'm a believer in when you have something working, keep going with it until they stop it. You still have Davis out there one-on-one with Kraus. Of course, Kraus is a super athlete, but I don't think he's as good defensively as he is offensively.
It was holding against East Brunswick. The penalty is declined by West Windsor, and so they'll force the Bears to punt it away. Varela will do the punting. Just gets it off. Poor kick, straight up in the air. And it'll go out just, they'll mark it at the West Windsor 45. So with 2:28, the Pirates will have good field position. Looking to get on the board, they trail 14-0.
And naturally, they're going to put that ball up. Number 12, McWaters, Sean McWaters, one of their key targets. And of course, he's not even in there now.
All right, Evans brings him out. I formation, steps, looks. He has Chung, and Chung drops the ball right in his hands. Bring up 2nd down. So both offenses sputtering a little bit now, Phil.
And as you saw, the Pirates going with the short, quick pass, trying to avoid that Bear blitz.
Ball sitting right at the 45-yard line of West Windsor. It'll be 2nd and 10. 2:20 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Evans being pressured. He gets it off to Kraus, and Kraus drops it.
I'll tell you, gives coaches gray here. Twice, the receiver not looking the ball in, ready to run with the ball before they got it. And right in front of the coach, twice that's happened.
I want to mention Dave Dixon, number 83, putting on a lot of pressure on Evans. And Evans taking some hard hits back there, and his receiver's dropping the ball.
He's taking some shots.
Third and 10. And East Brunswick playing back kind of deep now. Evans, the southpaw, looking. Tries to set up a screen to Chung, and goodbye. Pazinko's there.
I'll tell you. Matt Pazinko in on the tackle, John, and just a fine tackle. Seems like Pazinko's always where you need him. In the Edison game, John, Edison tried to do a screen play. Pazinko stayed home, slammed the ball carrier, and it was one of the key plays of the game. A heady young ball player.
4th and 16, a loss of 6. And West Windsor will punt it away. Let's see if East Brunswick goes after him. Good snap, and the kick is away. Johnson will let it go out of bounds. And so with about 1:32 left, East Brunswick will start from about their own 29-yard line. They lead 14-0. And Phil, if you're Marcus Borden, you hope to see some spark here before halftime.
You certainly would like to. There's two schools of thoughts. Control the ball, don't do anything to hurt yourself, but they got it going, and I think they'd like to get one certainly before the half ends.
Davis wide to the right with Kraus. Little inside counter to Johnson. Johnson tackled hard on the sideline.
Okay, and it's something the Bears do all the time. Spread you out to one side and run back to the short side.
Johnson will pick up about 7.
But we have a flag.
And they're talking to West Windsor, so all likelihood against East Brunswick. We have a hold against the Bears. And they'll march him back. Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 17-yard line now. And 1:25 remaining. Well, East Brunswick will put Davis and Papalakis out wide to the right. Geary, long count. Johnson in motion. Again with the ball. Drags 4 tacklers with him as he picks up close to 5 yards.
I'll tell you, they did an awful lot of things to run the ball straight up the middle. People going in motion, people spread out, and it still comes back to the basics. Ball control.
And we move inside of a minute before halftime. East Brunswick wanting to add to their 14-0 lead.
I'll tell you, Kraus needs help out over here. You got Papadopoulos and Davis over here. And he doesn't have much help.
Neary gives it inside. That was Mien again. And it looks like East Brunswick content just to run it down, Phil, with 30 seconds.
I think they're going to come back. They're going to spread those 2 guys out on that side again and see if West Windsor makes the adjustment. And if not, they're going to do something off, but they got it.
20 seconds. Could be the last play of the half. And they're in that wishbone formation. Neary looks. He's looking for Davis over the middle. Intercepted by Kraus. It's a foot race. Kraus takes it in with 6 seconds. They were waiting for it, Phil.
Wow, you know, I'll tell you, John, we've been guilty as anyone talking about that matchup all day, but we did talk about the fact that Kraus is a fine defender, and he can hurt you, and he just hurt East Brunswick right there.
He almost dared them to throw his way, and he was waiting.
I'll tell you, I thought the Bears would come back with the 2 receivers to that side, because Kraus was pretty much out there by himself, and they just didn't do it.
So with 5 seconds remaining, West Windsor looking to put their 7th point on the board and be within a touchdown of the Bears. And they do. And we've got a game here, Phil.
I'll tell you.
That was about 30 yards for Kraus on the interception.
I'll tell you, John, and it hurts because you work the Bear team has worked very hard this first half, has pretty much dominated, and it's one play turns it around. And I'd be the first to admit that I'd been advocating to take advantage of that, but it wasn't a deep pass, which Davis has been beating him on. It was sort of that slant in there, and Kraus stepped right in front of it and took off on it. Nobody was able to stop him.
Well, more importantly, it's given West Windsor new life for this second half. Just when things were sputtering for them, Kraus brings them back to life. 30 yards on the interception.
We're going to have to call him sauerkraut there. He soured the crowd, I tell you.
Oh, brother.
Okay.
Don't give up your day job. 5 seconds remain.
And they will kick it away. No need for an onside kick there, John. It's only 5 seconds. Huh, shows you what I know, right?
Well, you had that scrum rugby approach to kickoff, and whistles blown. I didn't see a flag thrown. Yes, there was. Delay of game called against West Windsor.
Well, apparently Tom Stewart feels 5 seconds is plenty of time. You feel sometimes going to go off the ball once it's hit. He would have, if they picked it up, he would have 4 seconds, perhaps 3 seconds left to fling a bomb there.
Well, you got to admire the thinking. And we'll see if West Windsor tries the onside again. I'm not going to even guess at this
I'm
one.
quiet, you see me.
And it looks as though they'll kick it away.
Delay of game.
Quite honestly, I didn't know there was a clock being kept for kickoffs. You know.
Okay, apparently it's not, John.
It's been a long evening for kickoffs. Good kick. Johnson, reverse. This is Davis. He can get a block. He's got a gap.
Mercy.
Davis. One person to beat.
Oh,
goodbye.
mercy.
It's hammer time. R.J. Davis all the way.
Mercy, mercy.
Davis goes 90 yards with it. Unofficially.
Wow. There's a flag out on the field, John.
Flag is down. What a run by R.J. Davis.
What a shame about the flag. If that is a flag, that's lying out there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct
After
against
the
West
touchdown.
Windsor.
I think it's after the touchdown. It's against the Bears, I believe, John, but it's after the touchdown.
Sportsmanlike against West Windsor.
Okay.
Touchdown. So, with just a few seconds remaining.
I'll tell you, John, very rarely do you see 2 mistakes made in such a short period of time. Certainly a mistake for the West Windsor to kick that ball deep. I expected him to kick it off, but not deep, a squib kick. You don't want to put it into, you don't want to create this type of situation. It's simple as that.
Cairns to make it 21. And he does. So East Brunswick's lead is back to 14. And that'll end the first half here. And some fireworks the last 10 seconds.
Fireworks, and Tom Stewart has to be kicking himself because before we said that they wouldn't go for the onside kick. I figured they squib it up and kick straight up the middle there, and to kick it away deep just doesn't make any sense, John, at this time. And you see Stewart, he's out on the field. He's has some words to say with the official. I don't know quite what it is. It may have to do with that unsportsmanlike conduct, but you can best believe that's not what's on his mind. He's got to be steaming because he kicked that ball away, and the Bears took total advantage of it. Didn't make sense.
Well, it's been an exciting 10 seconds to end the second quarter. East Brunswick goes on top 21-7 as both teams head out for the locker rooms and to relax and get some additional instruction. And so Phil and I will relax and get ready for this second half.
Welcome to the East Brunswick High School homecoming game between the Bears and the West Windsor Pirates. A homecoming football game has been a tradition in East Brunswick for well over a decade, and I am pleased to see such a large and energetic crowd help carry on this wonderful tradition. This evening's football game is the culmination of numerous homecoming activities which were aimed at promoting spirit within the school. Yesterday evening, each of the 3 classes decorated a hall within the high school, and this morning, the classes were judged on their creations. The winner of the 1990 Homecoming Hall Decorating Contest was the class of 1992. Placing second was the class of 1991. This afternoon, all of the high school's fall athletes were recognized at a pep rally. And now, as the senior class president and the representative of Student Council, I'd like to present to you the 1990 Homecoming King and Queen and the Homecoming Court. The sophomore attendant, Carla Swartz, escorted by her father, Mr. Carl Swartz. The junior attendant, Diana Birnbaum, escorted by her father, Mr. Sheldon Birnbaum. And finally, the homecoming queen, Wendy Bykowitz, escorted by the homecoming king, Dan Nestor. Before you stands the 1990 Homecoming King and Queen and Court. On behalf of the Student Council, we would like to present you with these flowers. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for attending the 1990 Homecoming football game.
All right, Phil, we see the West Windsor team coming out for the second half. East Brunswick's coming through the gate now. And you know that the last 12 seconds were kind of a flurry there and a blur for us. Yeah. Let me just run down the scoring quickly. East Brunswick got on the board first. Tom Gierman recovered a fumble in the end zone to make it 7-0 East Brunswick. Davis then came back on a 32-yard reception, a beautiful pass from Neary, made it 14-0 East Brunswick. And then Kraus picked off a pass, and this is when it all started, Phil. There were about 30 seconds left, and Kraus intercepted a Neary pass, ran it 30 yards into the end zone, and put West Windsor back in the game 14-7. First of all, do you throw that pass with 30 seconds?
Well, but if we were a little closer to Halloween, we would have a reason for all this happening, but it's hard to figure a lot of stuff. A lot of people certainly, as will second guess, and that's part of football, second guessing why the pass was thrown and whatnot. You notice I was talking about a pass if there were 2 receivers there and if they were going to go deep. But to throw that pass, when you're up 14-0, people are going to question and whatnot. But Tom Stewart took the pressure.
I was going to say 14-7, and then Stewart kicks the ball away.
Kicks the ball away, took the pressure off, and it's almost, can you top this?
And Davis did. R.J. Davis going about 80 yards on the reverse kickoff and scoring.
I'll tell you, Tom Stewart was out there on the officials' case at the end of halftime as well. And I think he wanted to question why they were penalized for that delay of game on the kickoff, which ultimately resulted in that kickoff return. So he was very upset. He just stayed probably for about a good 4 or 5 minutes with the officials there trying to get an explanation. In addition, they got called for a personal foul. We saw what happened there. Davis was running for the touchdown, and after he ran for it, the kid just came up and punched one of the East Brunswick players in the back. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Speaks for itself. But yeah, the longer this game went on, the stranger it got, John. But we're probably going to have a very exciting second half.
Well, we had 2 scores within a span of about 12 seconds. And really some questionable play calling, I guess you can say. But the score remains East Brunswick 21 and West Windsor 7. And all the points, again, coming in the second quarter. So it was hot and heavy in the second quarter. Now we'll see what happens here in the third period. And if you're Marcus Borden, not a hell of a lot you need to change at this point.
No, you got your things going for you. You really do. You really do. I'll tell you, John, our cameras can't show it by looking at the West Windsor side, but you want to talk about a lot of people here for homecoming. A real nice crowd all over by the stands. Our stands here filled in, and it's just nice that people are coming out.
Well, it is homecoming this evening, and they introduced the Queen and her court and the King and I guess his court.
Right.
And those young people dressed for the occasion.
And certainly alumni coming back. I understand Dave Wohl is in the crowd this evening, but I'm sure some of the other players, and when we talk about players, there's a lot of them that come to mind. I mean, I could run off name Rusnak, Waringberg, Orvitz, Krillis.
Yeah, you mentioned Dave Wohl. You know, there was some great football players here going back. I've been following East Brunswick, I'm almost afraid to say, but since '62, and I can remember John Mansfield and Joe Pilch and Tim Carr.
Joe Pilch.
Yep, Ken Popovich, Joe Scroy. You know, and then as we moved into the 70s, John Morrison and we saw Pruss, and you mentioned Rushnak, and we can't forget Forte and Harmon and
Bazinko's,
Bazinko and
Rowe. You got a lot of talent that has come through here, and hopefully a lot of the people are here tonight for this super homecoming evening.
Well, Phil, you know, at the top of the game, West Windsor decided to kick off, and so they will receive to start the second half. And maybe Tom Scott knew something before going into the game.
But they don't have that choice, I don't believe, John. They don't have that choice.
Well, they will set up the return, and Kraus is the man, obviously, that West Windsor will want to get. And you see Marcus Borden talking to his kickoff team. And I guess, Phil, what he's really saying is stay in your lanes, because this kid Kraus can break it.
Well, we've seen that. So the Bears specialty teams have been vastly improved this year. So you have the feeling they're going to do the job. They may let them get up to perhaps maybe the 35 or so, but perhaps not much further than that.
All right, East Brunswick will kick it off to start this second half. They're on top 21-7. Temperature dropping since game time. I would say it's in maybe the mid-30s. And the field will probably be a little slick. But Cairns will get this game underway for the second half. And we're just waiting for the whistle. A lot of time being wasted on kickoffs tonight. I don't know what it is.
I don't know neither. I hope we don't see another flag because we'll have a Donnybrook.
I think a point you made is something we need to keep our eyes on, Phil, and that is if this game's going to get a little rougher, I mean, in terms of penalties. Cairns, good kick. This will be Kraus from his own 15. He's got a wedge in front of him. He's got some running room. Kraus right up the middle.
Wow.
And he's tackled as he crosses the 40, just short of the 45.
And he was like a runaway locomotive, building up steam and trying to pull out.
One thing I notice about him, Phil, he runs upright, and that could be a problem.
Very high legs. Very high kick, standing straight up. A lot of backs this year. I've seen too many backs who run straight up. Not with that lean that you like to see.
All right, West Windsor will start off the third period on offense. First possession. They'll have the ball at their own 43. Good field position.
And we'll see if Tom Stewart makes adjustments and decides to adjust his game plan, because they haven't had that much progress, really.
Gluck is in the backfield. Kraus, number 9, is in the wing. That's he in motion. Evans has trouble with the snap, and I believe he dropped it again.
East Brunswick
has it.
Wow.
Phil Evans is just pulling out too soon.
He's pulling out too soon, and it's a bad omen for West Windsor. You come out the second half, you want to get something going, and that old nemesis comes back and haunts you.
I believe the recovery was by Jay Adocio, number 55. And East Brunswick will have it. Big break. One play, and it's another takeaway for the Bears. And so they'll start at the West Windsor 41, 1st and 10. Yen is in the backfield behind Neary. This is Johnson in motion. Neary will put it up in the air. He sets. He's got some time. He's blitzed, and he's dropped immediately.
He is hammered.
Right at the midfield marker, and he didn't even see that player coming in,
and
Phil.
It's number 77, and I wish I had the young man's real name.
We've been saying that it's Eldridge, Paul Eldridge, and we have nothing to say it isn't, but the program is off for us. Almost a 10-yard loss on the play, and so the ball's right at midfield for the Bears, 2nd and, let's say, 20. Wishbone offense. Inside handoff, Johnson.
And I'll tell you, a lot of hitting going on there.
Well, East Brunswick's had their opportunities. They're on top 21-7. It could have been much, much more than that, though. It'll be 3rd and 16 for the Bears. Big play here to keep this drive going. Johnson will start in motion. Neary hands off to Nguyen, and he'll pick up 2. And it looks like East Brunswick will be forced to punt.
Okay, one of the captains, Jeff McFarland, in on the tackle there. And they had to stop the Bears here. If the Pirates hoped to get something, they couldn't let the Bears get on the board early in this second half. And they've held them on the initial possession.
Varela back to punt. Chung and Kraus back deep for West Windsor. A low kick. Kraus picks it up at the 15, and he's dropped at about the 16 as he tried to go outside and pick up some block.
And that was Varick on the tackle there.
So West Windsor on their 2nd possession of this half.
I'll tell you what, and while we've had some offensive fireworks, defense has really set the tone for this game here, John, and we'll see if they'll pick up here. The Pirates tend to get nervous when their backs are this close to the goal line.
Well, let's see if Evans stays in there long enough to take the snap, and he does. That's Kraus on the outside. Kraus doesn't get much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. First one to meet him was number 28. That's Tom Gearman, and what a game he's having.
He's playing a super game. Jay Adosho in on the tackle as well.
Let's call it 2nd and 10. Ball resting at the West Windsor 17-yard line. And I'd be surprised if they put it in the air here, Phil.
They got to be a little tentative.
I formation. Evans, he's going to put it in the air. Flips it out to Gluck, in and out of his hands.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you one drill the Pirates will be doing next week, and that we'll be looking it in. That's the third one we've seen where the player's been wide open and just has not looked the ball in. You got to do some of the basic things. You got to see the ball, look it in, and catch the ball. You cannot run with the ball if you don't catch it.
In all fairness to Evans, he must have had about 5 or 6 dropped on him.
Easily.
And he's putting the ball there. It will be 3rd down now from the 17 for West Windsor. And 10. Kraus goes in motion. Evans looks, throws one out to him, and he's dropped immediately for a loss. Camera is there. The first one to come up, I believe, was German.
German or Johnson, one of them came up very early, slowed them down, and Cameron finished them off.
And West Windsor will have to punt. Davis will go back deep. I'm sure Johnson will be back with him. Moore to do the punting. Gets a good snap. Gets a nice kick off, high kick. Davis will field it at his own 45 and is dropped right there. No chance to even attempt the reverse there.
Again, exactly, Davis is running away to do the reverse, and he's giving up yardage with guys coming down on him, and, you know, I'm going to let it go. I've said enough about it already. When it works, it's beautiful, but there's times, based on how the defenders are coming, that you got to take the ball.
All right, clock running, 7:25 left here in the 3rd quarter. Bears on top, 21-7. They have it 1st and 10 on the West Windsor 47. Neary keeps, steps up, finds a hole, and then is drilled to the ground. Picks up about 5, however.
I'll tell you, drilled is being kind, John. He was hammered. He was hammered by number 53, and that's Michael Britton. Michael Britton comes up flipping himself, but he hammered Neary.
They say Neary picked up 4, so we'll call it 2nd and 6 from the Pirates 44. Wishbone backfield. Johnson, nice hole. He'll get close to the West Windsor 40.
I'll tell you, this Pirate team hasn't given up. I like the way they come to the ball. East Brunswick's pushing them around a little bit, but when they tackle, you see 4 and 5 guys around the ball. I like that. Any coach has got to like that.
3rd down and about, let's call it a long 3 for East Brunswick. Ball right at the Pirate 40. Davis comes wide right. He's got Kraus, and he's getting some help over there. Johnson starts in motion. Neary keeps, tries the left side. He's got the 1st down. So they'll move the chains as East Brunswick moves deeper into West Windsor territory. And I may have been a little premature. They're going to measure. From this angle, it looks like he has it. And they're
Just a fraction.
Yeah, they're short about the length of a football, a little less. So brings up a call for Marcus Borden, 4th and inches, and he's going with a 21-7 lead. Not much to lose here, Phil.
No, you can expect your steady fullback, Che, to take this, and Che or Neary.
Neary gives it to Nguyen, and I think he's got it. Buries his head, enough for the first down. Clock moving, 5:25.
I guess Yin says you can mess up my last name, but don't mess up my first name. It's Chi.
Well, we have to be honest, we've had a little difficulty with that name. First and 10 for the Bears on the West Windsor 36. Gehrman in motion. Yen again. And that's a safe bet for at least 3-4 yards.
Well,
Phil.
but why stop it? The Pirates haven't been able to stop it, and they're picking up 3 and 4 yards out of the clip. So let's continue with it and march on down the field. We're controlling the ball. It's rather safe. Not the prettiest of stuff, but it's working. So we'll take what they're giving us.
Davis and Papadopoulos out to the right. Johnson. And he bolts through close to a first down. He'll be somewhat short, but good burst of energy through there, Phil.
I'll tell you, they look good, and you got to give some credit to that offensive line there. People that are doing the job up front. That's John Lano, number 52, Jim Kale, number 63, Bill Nathalie, number 78, and Matt Skirby, number 60. And of course, Matt Pazinko at center, number 50.
Wishbone formation again. East Brunswick quickly. Johnson, and he's tripped up in the backfield.
A fine tackle. Michael Britton.
And it'll bring up a 4th down for East Brunswick. That was 3rd and about 1, and Johnson got back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they didn't give up the ball before, and I don't expect them to give it up now. They're going to go for it.
We have a penalty, Phil, an unsportsmanlike conduct call against East Brunswick.
Wow.
I didn't see a flag, quite honestly. It's very hard to see it with the flags and the color of West Windsor's uniforms.
Well, it might have been something.
I believe something was
verbal,
said.
Right.
So that'll make it 3rd and 18. .310 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Bears on top, 21-7. Little inside counter. This is Gehrman. And he'll pick up about 7 yards, but not what they really needed.
Okay, Opalski, Michael Opalski, number 42, in on the tackle for the West Windsor Plainsboro High School Pirates. That's a lot.
You're not kidding. Varela back in to punt. Let's see if he goes for a corner. Gets a good snap. Whoa, almost blocked. He hits it straight down to Kraus. Kraus dances once or twice, takes a few steps and gets close to the 15, but again, poor field position for West Windsor.
And I tell you, the specialty teams for the Bears have been super this year. Of course, they ran back a kickoff for a touchdown. It's the 2nd touchdown by a specialty team. Their coverage has been super. Remember last year, John, they were shut out. The Jesse James gang, so to speak, did not score on the specialty teams. This year, they've scored 2 officially and maybe about 5 unofficially. 3 others called back.
1 in that Edison game. West Windsor, 1st and 10 from their own 14. Evans, the quarterback. Drops the ball
Oh,
again.
mercy, mercy.
He falls on it this time.
He really didn't have, even down on the ground, he didn't have possession of that ball. That ball's in back of him, no less. And I guess the whistle just blew, but he never did really have possession. They are really having problems with that exchange, John.
It's been a long night for Evans and his center.
If I'm Tom Stewart, I might call a timeout just to have them do some snaps to make sure they get it down.
Well, a 6-yard loss makes it 2nd and 16. The ball is now on their own 8-yard line. Evans grabs it this time, is gonna pass, and he throws it past his receiver.
And it's gotta be,
and a flag is thrown.
On his back.
I think it's gonna be against Pilato.
Being a little aggressive, and Pilato's got to believe if it is on him, the juices are flowing and whatnot. He's not in there offensively. He was going for the ball, ran right through the defender. Official standing right on top of it, through the flag. Interference.
Matt Chung was the intended receiver, number 24. It is against East Brunswick. That'll be an automatic first down. So it helps the Pirates get out of a hole. And with 1:17, they'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 22. Kraus from the eye, goes in motion. Evans will pass, he's looking over the middle. And it's dropped by McWhorter, number 12. And that's their big receiver.
Right, Gehrman's right there, give him credit, doing a fine job. McWhorter, right, is supposed to be their best receiver, and he's dropped a few today. Of course, Gehrman had something to do with it that time, right there.
You're right, Phil. Great defense by Tom Gehrman. He's all over the field on that defensive unit. 2nd and 10 for the Pirates. Split back formation. Gluck goes in motion. Evans, quick pitch to Kraus. Kraus turns the corner, drags a few East Brunswick players, and may have enough for a first down. Let's see where they mark it.
He's a hard slashing type runner. It doesn't mind giving up the body.
They got a hole against West Windsor, and boy, they're just hurting themselves now. I tell you, my eyes must be going bad. I'm not seeing these flags at all, quite honestly.
I'll tell you, it could be one of the officials appears that he's
not dropping one.
He may have lost it, so he's blowing the whistle.
Well, we've had a lot of fun with these officials over the last several years, and sometimes you really wonder. Anyway, the clock's starting. Inside a minute left, 3rd quarter. And West Windsor's going backwards. It's 2nd and 20 from their own 12. Chung in motion.
Ooh.
I don't know what that was, but somehow I think Kraus got a hold of it.
Jay Adosho down on the bottom. Adosho and Wolfskill right there.
Gluck was the ball carrier, I'm sorry. Evans just kind of hung it out there for whoever wanted to take it.
I'll tell you, the handoffs and the exchanges are, you're right, and somebody's going to come up and take it. They're just too slow in developing.
And it looks like West Windsor's running on some flat tires now, Phil.
Well, they came in with a lot of motion. They're finding out what the GMC is about.
3rd and 18 from the 14. Evans looking, being pressured. He's going to throw it down deep. Looking for Kraus. Good pass, wrong direction, however.
I'll tell you, Kraus did have a step on his defender, but the ball would have been perfect.
So West Windsor will have to punt it out from their end zone. And we'll see if East Brunswick comes after him. Or they set up the return. 5 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Nathan Moore is the punter. You hope for a good snap here. He gets it. Does get it off. High punt. Davis will field it at his own 40 and is dropped right there in his tracks.
Okay, Phil Hill, you got your wish. I ran the ball straight ahead, and this is what I got, okay? Now shut up.
Well, there seems to be a timeout on the field as the quarter comes to an end, and Phil, a long sustained drive for East Brunswick here can just about do it.
Well, but I think they're in total control right now. And of course, a big play or interception by the Pirates perhaps could get them going and whatnot. But I think East Brunswick is in control, and I'm saying that with the full quarter left.
Well, West Windsor came in 3-1 just as East Brunswick did. East Brunswick coming off a week's layoff, and they're looking pretty sharp.
Well, a few more of those names we're talking about of people gone by. Rick Okun, Dave Potter, we got Ramon Trent, and then Dave Clark.
Right.
The Novaks.
Yes.
We haven't mentioned them.
Rulos.
Warren Greenberg, Brenowitz, Rodobrom.
A lot of good players coming through this East Brunswick system.
I'll tell you.
Here we go, 1st and 10 from the West Windsor 40. The Bears on the move. Is that Gearman?
Gearman.
He busts through.
I'll tell you.
And actually caught me with my jaw down. It was so quick.
Tom Gearman lifting them legs, pumping them legs steady, high movement, and picking up good yardage.
He picks up the first down and moves the ball to the West Windsor 20, where the Bears will have another first down. Gearman again. He's hungry. And East Brunswick knows they can run on him, Phil.
Well, they have been all day.
Gearman picks up 2 on that carry. 2nd and 8. Ball spotted at the Pirates' 18-yard line. We've just started the 4th and final quarter here from J. Doyle Field. Bears on top, 21-7. There's Yen, big hole. He's going to bust his way down to the 2-yard line.
I'll tell you, Mack Truck could have gone through that hole, John. Even you could have run through that hole, I'm telling you.
Yeah, my younger days with the Dolphins. Phil, I think it's apparent that West Windsor now physically just cannot keep up with the larger East Brunswick.
Right, they cannot match up. They really can't. And you know, East Brunswick tends to get tougher in the 4th quarter, and I think it's showing very clear here.
Ball spotted at the 2. 1st and goal. East Brunswick. Neary to Johnson. And they've had his number all night on the ground.
They've been keen on him, and the fine tackle, number 65 again. Jeff McFarren leading the way. They've been going right up the gut and picking up good yardage here. I think they'll go back to there.
Yeah, Johnson loses a yard, so it'll be 2nd down from the 3-yard line. Kammerer is in at tight end. Don't be surprised to see him on a little look-in, Phil. That's why I said Neary will keep it. Step up. He's close to the goal line, but he'll be short. So they'll bring up 3rd down. They ran to the side of Kammerer when they put him in on that tight end spot.
You got to believe Chi Yin doesn't have a touchdown yet this year, and he's been the workhorse for them. This seems to be the place. They got to give it to him. You got to believe.
Well, you'd like to see it, certainly. He's been an outstanding runner thus far this season. Clock down to 9:25. East Brunswick, plenty of time. They're in command of this game thus far. And there's Nguyen. Does he have it? Yes, I think he's got his first.
His first touchdown of the year, and he deserves it because, as I said, he's been a workhorse all year for the Bears.
And you got to feel good for that young man, number 85. And I remember the first game, we didn't know who he was in the backfield with 85.
In the backfield.
So right now it stands 27-7. And Ian Cairns on for the extra point. Good snap, kick is up. And the 28th point will be posted on the board with 9:12 left, 28-7. Well, Phil, it's obvious that the layoff of a week, if anything, really helped East Brunswick here. No signs of rustiness.
They look rather sharp. They really do.
And Cairns will get ready to kick it off. West Windsor in the hole now, 28-7. Short but high kickoff.
Ooh.
Fielded by one of the up men. Does a little dancing. I think that's Gluck. And Gluck carries it across the across his own 45.
I tell you, Mike Gluck, the sturdy fullback, just kept on turning them legs and picked up some good yardage.
Interesting, Phil. I noticed that ball was kicked. No one even thinks about catching it other than Kraus. If Kraus fell, no one else would go for the ball.
Right.
All right, West Windsor comes out quick. They need to do something quick. They trail by 21 in an official timeout. And Mike Pilato is looking for something on the field. It may be his mouthpiece. Barrick will come in and replace him. And Phil, East Brunswick got J.P. Stevens coming up.
J.P. Stevens.
Here's a reverse with Chung. And that goes nowhere.
I'll tell you.
Great play by number 92, Steve Zins.
Steve Zins, we haven't called his name that much tonight, not because he hasn't been playing, but in the scheme of things, he's not blitzing as much. He's staying home, and it paid off right there. You're right, J.P. Stevens coming up, and they're in a big game, of course, tonight against undefeated Cerevel of all people, and that should be interesting, John.
No doubt Cerevel is the surprise team of the 90 season thus far. 2nd and 10. Ball at the West Windsor 45. Evans looking. Southpaw puts it up deep. It flutters. Intercepted Johnson.
And Barnell Johnson with his 3rd interception of the year, 2nd interception of the game.
And that ball had INT written all over it, Phil.
Really, I tell you.
When they're open, they drop him on Evans, and when they're covered, he puts them in the other
Someone else catches it.
player's hands. A long night thus far for West Windsor. But you know, you can see that they have the makings of being a good team. They're well disciplined.
They're scrappy. They just ran into a buzzsaw tonight.
Papadopoulos wide left, Davis to the right. Wishbone formation. Little counter. Gehrman on the carry. And he gets up to the 45.
Just as surprising as Cerevel being undefeated is the fact that Madison Central has not won a game, John.
Yes.
Wow.
So I want to mention something about Bob DeMarco after this. 2nd and 8. Ball right at the East Brunswick 45. Barrett goes in motion, inside handoff. You mentioned Madison Central being undefeated, and you know the rivalry that has existed between East Brunswick and Saraville for Madison Central for a long time. But Bob DeMarco, you want to talk about a class guy. After Saraville beat Madison Central, Bob DeMarco walked over to the locker room and handed the ball to Sal Maestro and said what a great job his team did.
I heard about that, a class act, no doubt about it.
Garriman on the carry.
It also bears out my theory that I've been saying a long time. It's all about talent. Bob DeMarco all of a sudden didn't forget how to coach, and Sal Mastretta, who's been struggling all along and didn't become a genius all of a sudden, even though I understand he's an exceptional coach. But it's about talent. If you have talent and you know how to use it, that's what makes the difference.
Well, it's 4th and 2, a long 2 for East Brunswick, and they'll punt it away. Varela in to do the punting, and he's looked good tonight. West Windsor coming for the block, putting pressure. Varela kicks it low, but gets some roll on it, and Kraus lets it go.
Wow.
And it'll go inside the 10 and be down at around the 7-yard line.
It's almost as if Kraus said, what the heck? I mean, I've had enough of this.
You got to wonder, Phil, down by 21 points, you got to pick that ball up.
I would think so. It looks like unless he thought he was back further and it was going in the end zone.
Well, the Pirates of West Windsor will take over 1st and 10. The ball on their own 7-yard line, and they have 5:28 left to do something here. And they're facing that East Brunswick defense. Doesn't look promising. Phil, who would have thought going into the season that game against Saraville could be a big game this year?
That's right.
T formation for West Windsor. Kraus has the ball and is tripped up at the line of scrimmage.
And that's
Billings on the tackle.
right.
Anthony Billings on the stop in the last play. Clock down to 4:45. High formation for the Pirates. Oh no, Evans throws it back to Kraus. The ball is loose. Touchdown, East Brunswick.
Wow.
And number 71 fell on it for East Brunswick. Anthony Gerbavic. Gerbervac.
Super solid.
And it's all come apart for the Pirates of West Windsor. Evans turned around, pitched it to, or tried to pitch it to Kraus. Ball was thrown away from him. He was going right, the ball went left. And Gerbavic was there.
I'll tell you, a rough night for the Pirates.
Cairns to add the 35th point. And he does easily. And it's been a very happy homecoming. And Phil, here's something unusual. Second fumble recovery in the end zone.
That is unusual. That really is.
The first was by Tom Gurman and now Gerbavic. And it's 35-7, East Brunswick. 4:30 remaining in this game.
And Tom Stewart's got to hope that this clock is running fast.
And we'll get ready to watch Ian Kearns kick it off again. He's getting a little tired here on kickoffs. Between kickoffs and extra points. short. This will be Kraus at about the 22. Needs a block. And he's gang tackled.
He's gang, about 7 players.
On the bottom of that is number 92, Steve Zins.
And you see the beleaguered Phil Evans walk slowly to the huddle. I mean,
Well, it's an adventure. He doesn't know if he'll get the ball from center or if his receivers will catch it if he does get it and is able to put it in the air. It's been a long night for him.
a very long night.
And they'll put Kraus out on, split him wide right, or to the left rather. It's McWhorter. That should be a loose ball, and they'll call it incomplete. Pretty close to a fumble. Incomplete pass is the ruling. That'll stop the clock with 3:53. And Phil, they're trying to put Kraus into that receiver position, get him the ball. Either that or free McWhorter up on man-to-man.
McWhorter has dropped quite a few tonight.
Well, I don't think he's been hit like this. Kraus again split wide left. Johnson will be on top of him. I formation. Evans being pressured. He'll step up in the pocket, throws it deep. It's fluttering. Pilato is tripped. Well, I won't say it was tripped. He did trip. It looked as though the West Windsor receiver kind of put a hand on his shoelaces there.
Yeah, maybe his leg just got under there. It did appear to be there. Nice effort, nevertheless, by Pilato. And you see him walking gingerly on that ankle. That ankle isn't fully healed yet. So he's out there on guts right now. And I like Mike Pilato because he is a gutty ball player.
Should be third down, 3rd and 10. Ball at the West Windsor 40-yard line. Evans dropping back. He's going to be dropped. Goodbye. 26. That's Varela.
And everybody's getting involved. And you see Marcus Borden starting to substitute rather liberally right now.
West Windsor will punt it away. Davis and Johnson back deep for the Bears. Speaking of tired legs, Moore is punting once again. Bad snap, it bounces, he picks it up, does get it off, it's high.
Ooh.
And Davis comes diving in, I think he lost the ball. And he did, and it goes over to West Windsor, and Phil, there was no need to even field that ball.
And Davis will learn from that. He actually dove to try to catch that. There's no need for it. Let that ball bounce. It looks like it's going to be difficult. Let it bounce. Get out of the way. If his back is near, if he's behind the 20-yard line, then you might say, you know, go for it. But in that position there's no reason to dive for it.
Well, it won't have any real effect on the outcome of this game. Evans, players are coming in and out for West Windsor. He's got 2:34 left in the game. He'll drop back, dumps it over the middle. Pass is complete, and a big hit.
Anthony Billingsley.
Gluck on the reception. And West Windsor will go without a huddle with 2:15 and the clock moving. They only pick up a yard on that play.
A lot of motion.
2nd and 9 from their own 45. Evans being pressured, missed by Varela, puts it up in the air, and that may be a flag, and it is. Interference will be called against Curtis Richards, number 17.
And that's unfortunate. I tell you, Curtis Richards quietly has done a very nice job being in there today.
Yeah, got there a little early.
Yeah, he hasn't hurt them today. He's been in there and doesn't normally start, but he's been in there most of the game and has done a pretty nice job.
That'll stop the clock with 1:56 left. Bears on top 35-7. And you can put this one in the books. East Brunswick will go 4-1. West Windsor will drop to 3-2. And East Brunswick will get ready for J.P. Stevens.
Which is always a battle, John.
And if my memory serves me correct, it'll be Stevens, Perth Amboy, Madison Central, and then Saraville. The remaining games for the Bears.
And I'll tell you can't take any of them too lightly.
And they're all GMC opponents. And obviously those games will have a major outcome on the championship of the Red Division. Evans looking, drops, looks over the middle. He's got a man. And the man was almost Tom Gierman. Tom is saying if he, geez, Phil, if I knew you were going to throw it to me, I would have caught it.
Again, once again, the defense for the Bears have really done a job tonight. As I said, we've saw some offensive fireworks, but it has been the defense and specialty teams.
Well, everyone's moving around here, shuffling for West Windsor. Kraus goes in motion. They throw it over the middle to Gluck. And Phil, quietly, Gluck has played a good game.
Oh, Gluck's a good, solid ball player, and he certainly doesn't hurt his team.
He reminds me of the fellow that came out of Woodbridge a few years ago.
McKim,
yeah.
Yes, McKim.
Same type of ball player. Evans is going to be dropped. Before he could set up and look, number 67,
wow,
Nick Szymanski. And timeout, West Windsor with 1:29 left in the game.
Szymanski, a sophomore, 6'2", 183 pounds.
He'll fill out.
So he'll fill out some future.
Phil, as we said at the top of the show, defense obviously is the strong point for East Brunswick, but that offense is coming around.
The offense is coming around, but they got until it fully blossoms, defense and specialty teams have been doing the job. They're hitting their stride, and I expect them to be in full gear around playoff time.
Well, that certainly is the goal for the Bears, and it's always the goal at the start of each training camp. And as we said a few times tonight, that win over Edison really set things up for this year.
Certainly buoyed them, and they're the team to beat in the GMC Red Division.
Well, the crowd's starting to thin out and head for the parking lots, and well, they should. It's 35-7 East Brunswick with 1:29 left. Second down for
it's a pass.
West Windsor as Kraus throws it up back to Evans, and he was wide open.
He was wide open.
The play was there.
I'll tell you, he's just lumbering along. He is not quick of feet, though. I mean, he's just lumbering along, and if he had any kind of speed, he could have.
Well, he's 6'4", 195.
Yeah, but he's not fast, and he's shown that all night, John.
No, he's carrying a refrigerator on his back as he moves down that field. I don't even know why they're huddling up, Phil, tell you the truth. I mean, even though the clock is stopped, but they really need to make use of this time better. Evans shuffles his way back, looks over the middle, overthrows his receiver. And that'll bring up fourth down. They are in East Brunswick territory. But they did not score an offensive touchdown thus far this evening. Their only touchdown coming on an interception by Kraus in the second period. They really haven't threatened. And this may be their best penetration. The ball is spotted at the East Brunswick 36. Fourth and about 16. Evans will look to put it up one more time. He's going to be pressured, and goodbye. Phil, sorry to say, the young man is trying his best, but it looks like slow motion out there when he's moving.
It really does. It really does. And that was Bob Varela in on the sack there.
He's at 2 tonight. And East Brunswick will take over. And I think we're going to see Jimmy White come in as quarterback, number 11.
me.
And a host of new players in. Jimmy White has not seen much action this year. And a straight handoff.
Jim White hasn't seen much action, but you gotta like his disposition. He is ready anytime he comes in. He's shown that the few times that he has been in, John. And you gotta have a player like that.
Clock running down to 30 seconds. So East Brunswick with a good victory here, 35-7. I think they did everything they wanted to do coming into this game. And certainly fumble. And West Windsor, I think, has recovered. And that'll stop the clock with 17 seconds. And Phil, now you gear for taking that GMC Red Championship flag home.
Well, they're in fine position. Like you said, they do have some people they have to play yet. That J.P. Stevens-Serval game tonight will tell a whole lot. But you got to believe the Bears are the team to beat.
And timeout West Windsor. I don't know what you say here.
Just say, make sure you get on
28.
Make sure you get on the bus that has the yellow light flashing there, because we want to get out of here in a hurry. They've learned a lot about the GMC. There's a lot of sectional rivalry, and they come from the Colonial Valley Conference, and I know they heard about the GMC, and I'm sure they got a lot of respect for it, because it is one of the tougher conferences in the state of New Jersey.
Well, we'll close the book basically tonight for this game. If you want to pick out a hero, and I hesitate to do that, but R.J. Davis with 2 touchdowns, one on a 32-yard pass reception and another on a kickoff return reverse, if you will, for about 80 yards. The other scores coming from Tom Gurman on a fumble recovery, and our buddy Chin Yen finally getting his first touchdown of the season, and then sophomore Gerbavac falling on a fumble in the end zone.
And speaking of fumbles, wow.
This is how the game started, and it looks like that's how it's going to end. They have a new quarterback. That's David Watlington, who's a sophomore. And so you shouldn't be surprised by that. And that will do it. The final here from J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick 35, West Windsor 7. And apparently there's a second left on the clock. Seems as though West Windsor had about 15 timeouts this half.
Come on, refs, give it up. Thank you.
And they will. It's all said and done. So Phil, you get ready for J.P. Stevens if you're Marcus Borden.
And a lot easier task for them mentally this week. I mean, this West Windsor, they didn't know too much about them. Hard to get the kids ready for them, because quite frankly didn't have a lot of respect for them, because they've never played them before, much less really heard about them. J.P. Stevens they know about. The rivalry is a great rivalry. The Bears will be ready for them, and we expect the super game. They know they're on a mission right now, and that mission is to take the Red Division and to go on to the state playoffs, and they're on course.
Well, and just as East Brunswick Bears will be ready for J.P. Stevens, so will we here at Channel 8, because we'll be carrying that game. So that'll wrap it up here from J. Doyle Field. Again, the final, East Brunswick 35, West Windsor 7. For Phil Hill, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.